Alright, I got a little bit of advice for Holly Holm here. Backing up about 2 weeks, she fought Vieta, watched that fight with some people. Everybody there basically agreed it was 3-2 Holly. Close fight, but pretty fucking boring fight. Like, that was bad. In the moment, I was rooting for Holly a lot, so it wasn't like boring in the moment, but looking back on it, especially 2 weeks later, my no one's going to be going back to that fight to watch the barn burner that it was. But Vieta ended up winning, split decision, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. One of our friends there was really upset because he made a bet and he would have won a good amount of money if Holly would have won, and it was all this and that. But it got me thinking, honestly. Like, even in the moment, I wasn't really too upset that Holly lost. And why? She's nice. She's a nice lady. She's older. It'd be nice for her to have one more crack at the belt. But maybe a little bit of a words to wisdom here, a little bit of piece of advice for her. Maybe she should try and finish the fight. Maybe she shouldn't try and just, you know, hold him up against the cage. Because it's not the first time it's happened either. It's not like 2 Saturdays ago was an anomaly. Like, well, what's going on? Why is she doing it? It's been done before on the McGregor versus Cowboy card. January 2020, Holly Holm was the co-main event. And in that, she just held her opponent up against the cage for 15 minutes. Everybody had to sit there. Instead of like a crazy knockout and then commentators come out, it's like, we gotta sit here and watch and wait and this and that, and it's boring. And she'll throw like 4 punches a minute up against the clinch and just control her with her back. I mean, it's impressive control, but is that really winning a fight? And I'm so sick and done with the judge talk and the decisions and if they're good or bad or whatever. It's exhausting me. I'm not talking about that right now. But given that Holly did that and lost, maybe she should implement a strategy that involves trying to finish the fight. And I know Vieta was a lot bigger than her. Vieta was a lot more powerful. But if you're gonna grapple with somebody, at least let it be on the ground where you can do some actual damage. Because at the end of the day, I'm not upset that she lost, and you could argue. I can even see the argument where she should have lost. Like, every time Vieta landed a strike, boom, like Holly was launched back. It looked like she got hit with a fucking bat. Like it was clearly the power difference was very much on display. And I get it. To win the fight, you gotta win the fight, career, and all this and that. Maybe let's start implementing. I mean, you're a kickboxer. You're about to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame and the Kickboxing Hall of Fame and all this and that. You can't out kickbox her. I get it. She's like 10 years younger than her, and this and that. But like, you think with all that experience and all this, like a half spinning, twirling side kick to the body to gain space is not it's a significant strike, but it's not a particularly damaging one. When she cracks her with a right, a straight cross, and her head goes back, one of like it based on damage, blah blah blah, octagon control, this and that bullshit. At the end of the day, Vieta didn't really look like she had too much damage worn on her. Holly did. Holly was looking like she was in a little, and it's not like she got her ass kicked or whatever, but every single round had basically every punch that Vieta threw in every single round damaged Holly a lot more. If you want to go based on damage, there's that. Does the control outweigh the damage? That's up for them to decide. But honestly, from a viewing perspective, why would I want with the strategy that Holly Holm implemented? Why would I want to see her fight for the belt? Why would I want to see her try and do that to Juliana Pena? And Juliana Pena's not going to let that happen to her. She's a good wrestler and all this and that. But with that strategy, why? I mean, blunt force trauma is blunt force trauma. If you may not have as much power as your opponent, but you can still do damage. You can still make it a little exciting. At the end of the day, it's a business, it's not a sport. Like, we're tuning in. We're setting our Saturday night aside to watch this, to be entertained. And whether that entertainment comes through rooting for a character you like or a personality that you like, or wanting to see a crazy knockout or wanting to see some technical prowess skills, nobody, and I mean nobody, 0 people are tuning in to see a really good clinch game against the fence. If you are tuning in to see that, you're boring, okay? You're probably a boring person and you probably do boring things. Not to roast you, but find something entertaining. Of all the things to be excited about, that's what you tune in for, come on. In the UFC too, come on. I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a minute. So, with that being said, maybe, Holly, maybe throw in a couple of punches, maybe work on the movement, work on the head movement. It's not like Vieta was super fast with the punches. I mean, it's not like she was bad either, but I mean, you could probably take a little bit more risk, and then maybe people would feel a little bit bad about it when you lose. But you know what? As a Holly Holm fan, I'm not really sad she lost because she didn't really go out there to fight.